So, are you ready? We're going to start off today with a very easy leaf pattern. So, you can see I'm just drawing a very simple leaf pattern here, and it's just got the little vein. I don't know if that's a technical term, but the little vein down the middle of the leaf shapes. And I'm going to do them all different sizes. And I'm going to have some overlapping. And why a leaf shape? Well, because it's an easy shape, and I would say just about everyone in the world knows what a leaf looks like. And I'm not getting real technical with it. I'm not putting in all the little veins and making it look realistic. This is all about simple patterns. So welcome to my channel. My name is Sonia and I am Zen with pen and paint, and welcome. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you draw along with me, and if you are coming back to my channel, welcome back, guys. So this little leaf pattern, like I said, is very easy to do and very calming to do, and you don't have to stress about them all being the same shape and same size. You can curve some a little bit, you can have them more straight, like I said, different lengths. You don't have to do this leaf if you don't want to either. If you prefer to do like a maple leaf or a different shaped leaf, go on ahead. This is just what I've picked for this piece of artwork that I'm working on. And here you'll see I'm colouring in with my pen the little white background pieces. And this is what I do with all my pattern art. As you can see here, I've moved on to what I call little coral sort of finger shapes. I've gone ahead and I've done those. And now I'm up to some little, what I call rainbow circles. They're not rainbow coloured, obviously, but they're just 3 little circles, one on top of another. And I colour in the smallest circle in the middle. And I really like this shape. This is one of my favourites. There's something about circles and half circles that I think is the easiest thing in the world to do. And they're one of the patterns that really calm me and is very meditative for me. So here we have what I've done so far. Now this is here I'm explaining, that you can see with my shapes, when I begin a new pattern, I don't do it straight across. I like to have them like they're growing in nature. So I have some patterns that are higher on one side and lower on the other. And that way it looks more natural. So don't just stop your pattern straight across, because it's not going to look as nice. And this is all on a A3 piece of paper. Here I'm showing you my next pattern, which again is going to be another leaf. It's a much bigger leaf and it's a different way of doing one. And this is really relaxing to do as well, this leaf pattern that I'm about to do. It's just drawing lines within the shape, up and down, up and down. And you go over the top of the other lines and you just keep going until you've filled in that little leaf shape as much as you want. And this, like I said, is all on a, I think I mentioned it. This is my first time doing a voiceover, so please don't be too harsh on me. But this is all on an A3 sheet of paper, watercolor paper. I think it's about 180 GSM. It's hot pressed, so it's nice and smooth. The cold pressed, if you don't know, has more of a texture to it for the watercolor paints. So if you want to be drawing on it with pen like I do, you might want to look for the hot pressed. If you don't have any, you've only got cold pressed, what you can do is turn it over onto the other side of the paper. And sometimes they have like a much smoother side on the wrong side of the paper of the cold press, so you can also use that. I've also put some frog tape, which is a brand of masking tape, on the sides of my paper to make a lovely border. When it's finished, I'm going to take that frog tape off and I'm going to have a lovely white border right around my piece. And here I just explained quickly that all that background will be coloured in with my pen, but I'm going to go back to that in a minute. I'm going to continue on here, and although it's a little hard to see because I didn't zoom up, I'm making little snail shapes, so just the little shell of a snail. So you start in the middle and you just keep going round and round in a spiral. And again, I'm making these all different sizes, similar sizes. I'm not going too huge or too small, but I'm not worrying about them all being the exact same size. And again, being a circle in shape, these are very meditative to do. So if you're looking for those meditative patterns, I find that circles seems to be the way to go for me anyway. Very calming. And now I'm going to fill up this top little section before my branch of my tree with all these tiny, tiny little circles. And I find these really fun to do, and I love the way they look and feel in a section. So what I've got here is basically a tree or two trees on my page, and all this pattern is actually in the background, and it's going to turn out very beautiful once I've finished with it. Here you can see a bit more of my tree, and now I'm just going around that edge of that tree and darkening it with my pen. So you can see here I've finished the rest of the side of the page right up to the top corner in some more easy patterns. And now I'm starting in my middle section. I always seem to work from left across the page to the right, and so now we'll be working on the middle section, and here I'm doing some sort of long grass shapes, so very thin slithers of, if you can imagine, blades of grass. Nice and easy again, and I'm going to be making these cross over one another, so they look more natural and realistic, and some are straight, some are curved. And then I'll be colouring in the background and all the little white bits as well to the back of the blades of grass. And I'm just doing the one sort of row of these for the bottom of the page. So my question to you guys is, what goes on through your mind when you're trying to relax and you're making these patterns, or you're just doodling on a piece of paper? For me, it's not a lot actually. I tend to tune everything out. And what happens more to me is, instead of actually thinking about everyday things, my ears kind of take over, and I listen for noises, and I hear the birds outside a lot. I realised how many birds are just out in my garden when I'm doing these patterns, which is a really, really nice thing to hear. And it's something I don't take notice of, I realise, when I'm just doing, housework, or I'm, just maybe hanging out the washing, or just doing my everyday things at home. I never seem to hear the birds, but as soon as I sort of sit down and I don't really play music. A lot of people like to switch on music and listen to that while they doodle, but no, I find that I really start to hear nature outside. But I also hear like machinery, or if someone's mowing the lawns, and I actually really love the sound of people mowing their lawns. To me, it's a sound of spring or summer, and there's something that reminds me of my childhood when I hear lawnmowers. Um, but yeah, what happens to you when you do your doodle art or your pattern making, or even if you don't do this art at all, if you perhaps you're a painter, or you're a I don't know, maybe you paint in oil pastels or soft pastels. But it'll be interesting to hear what goes on with you. Do you just have 100 things going through your mind that need to be doing, or does this actually work as art therapy for you, and it blocks out all those things? Um, because for me, this type of art, I've realized, is really my art. It's my therapy. It's I've realized this is a fantastic way for me to block out all those everyday thoughts. All of us have stresses in our lives, and what better way to be able to do something that that we can do quite easily, and even if we just do it for a couple of minutes, just to stop the noises in your head. So I hope that people who are watching this can have a go and benefit from this type of art. Anyway, here we are. I'm just finished doing some what I call little mountains, which are three sort of triangles on top of each other, with the smallest triangle in the middle coloured in. And now I'm just doing some circles, easy circles with a dot in the middle. And this is what I call my fish eggs, because to me they look like fish eggs. The little clear circle with the little black dot in the middle. So yeah, I'm doing some of these, and I want to say that when you are doodling like this, if you are doing a large piece and you're not having very many breaks, I just want to alert you to relaxing your hand. I do find that after a while I tend to grip my pen harder and harder, and it's something that I'm working on, because I don't want to start getting RSI from really gripping this pen so hard. So every couple of minutes I check my grip, and if I'm too tight, I'll loosen my grip. And the great thing about pen is you do not have to press hard to get the ink on the paper, and that's still something that I'm trying to train my hand in doing, is that I don't need to press hard, and pressing hard is actually going to give me hand pain. So yeah, if you see me sort of pause sometimes, it's because I'm checking my grip and just loosening that off and relaxing my hand a bit. Also, if you find that you're getting pain in your hand, just stop every few minutes and just do some stretches with your hand and wiggle your fingers, and I don't know, crack your knuckles if you want to. And see how that goes. It's very important with any sort of art, even if you're doing it for art therapy, that you also pay attention to your hands and your arms and your posture as well, because you want to be relaxed. You don't want to be all tensed up in the body. Even though the mind is relaxed, we need to have a relaxed body as well. So don't forget to take breaks, and even if you're just stopping for a cup of tea or just to get up and take the dog for a walk. So that's very important as well. Here I'm just doing some, I guess, called square boxes. And I'm only doing one row of these. I don't really know why I put the square boxes in. I guess I just felt like it. They're sort of not a real natural thing that grows naturally in nature, I don't think. But yeah, I shoved them in there. Now I'm going ahead and I'm making lots and lots of tiny little circles, and I'll be doing quite a few of these, so you'll probably see the video where I've paused it and gone ahead, further ahead, because you probably don't want to watch me do, hundreds and hundreds of circles. Okay, so I've got that done, and now I'm colouring in the background of some little tiny leaves I did here. And I'm wanting this background between the two trees to be very dark, so a lot darker than most of the rest of the illustration. So I'm going to be putting in a lot of pattern here between these trees that have a lot of areas where I colour in the background, so I can get that nice, the nice dark blues in between there, just to give it a little bit of distance. So it's like you're looking through the trees, and it's giving you a bit of distance. So now I'm decided to do some little grasses. So these are just like 3 or 4 little blades of grass. You can see I've done a whole heap of these, and now just again colouring in that background behind the blades of grass. So now that I've completed that section, which I have to admit was driving me nuts. I don't like actually colouring in that much background, and but I got it done eventually. And now I'm doing these kind of, I don't know what these are called, but sometimes you see them hanging like fern type things hanging from branches of trees. I don't know if you're like in a rainforest or something, I guess. I never have any plan when I'm doing my pieces of artwork. I just go from pattern to pattern. I just decide what I think will look nice next, and that's what I go with. And the good thing about working in a pen is that there's no going back. So once you commit to something, that's it. You got to work with it and keep going with it. So here I'm doing my little coral type finger things that I've done many times before, and just colouring in a little bit of the gap sections in between these. And then I will go ahead and colour in the background of all those little fern wiggly things coming down from the tree as well. So I've got a nice dark background in here. So yeah, here we are where I've completed that. It's looking good. And I went ahead and off camera and completed, I'm just showing here that I've completed the top part as well. And now I'm off on the last part of this, where I'm onto my right hand side. And I have to say, at this point I've probably been working on this for probably 4 or 5 days off and on, just maybe an hour, half an hour, hour and a half time stints. I don't like to work too long on my pattern work because I do tend to get a little bit of a sore hand, and I don't want that to become an issue with my wrist and things. So I'm taking care of my body, and I'm just doing what I can when I can. So again, I'm doing these long blades of grass that just have like a little, I've just for decoration put a little dot on the top of them, a little circle, and again colouring in this background. And yeah, I'm really liking how it's turning out, and I've already got an idea for my next piece. Being an Aussie, I thought that I would maybe do some more trees, similar trees to what I've got here, like gum trees. But I thought I might find and make some patterns that are more Australian flora. Here I'm just zooming up for you because you couldn't quite see it, is another little sort of seed pod type thing that I'm drawing. And I'm just doing a few of these, and these, because they have the thin stem on the bottom, I don't actually colour in between these. So if I was to colour in between everything, I don't know, I don't know, it would look a lot, I don't know, I think it would still look really nice, but I don't, I like to have some bits where I don't colour the background. That was some of my little snail shells that I'm doing. But going back to what I was saying, yeah, thinking of doing an Aussie themed one with Australian flora. So like patterns of little gum nuts and desert peas and maybe some wattle, that sort of thing. So that's sort of going around in my mind at the moment. And I'll probably be making up some patterns for that on a chart before I start my piece. I like doing that. I like to have a chart with my patterns on there so I can refer to it quickly. If my mind goes blank and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what pattern to do next. It's really good to have a sketchbook, or even if it's just a piece of paper laying on the desk that has several different patterns on it so I can refer to it easily, and maybe jog my memory, or maybe it will inspire a different pattern. This is a very easy pattern, and at this stage I wanted something that covered a large area and was quite easy, and that wasn't going to have any dark blue coloured background. So I made this shape. I don't know what I would call these. Maybe they're mushroom slices. Again, here I'm showing that, I continued up and worked all the different patterns right up to the top here. And now we are on the final section of this beautiful illustration. Well, I think it's beautiful. I hope you do too. And I hope by watching this, that, perhaps you don't copy it. I would hope that you don't copy it exactly, but I hope you do find inspiration from it. And you go ahead and make a beautiful piece of art for yourself. And like I just showed there, these are just a really simple design, just a circle with a dot in the middle. And I'm just working these all the way up. And I don't know, overall this probably has taken me, I haven't really timed it. Maybe I should time how long a A3 piece of artwork takes me. But because I worked on this off and on over days, I'd really have to guess. Maybe it was about 5-6 hours, but I'm really not sure. It could have been a little bit less, a little bit longer than that. But I was in no hurry. I was just going at my own speed. And even though I'm making this video, I knew I could edit it. And, you know, I just, every time I sat down, I put the camera on and videoed. But then, you know, I went and cut all the long, boring pieces out for you guys. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, watching me create this. And again, I just want to say that the best thing you can get out of this is just relaxation. And I honestly have to say that, you know, my mind was free of any thoughts and any stresses while I made this. So I think this is why, you know, recently I changed my channel to Zen with Pen and Paint. I used to be Sonia's Mixed Media, and I used to do a lot of art. You know, I did watercolor painting, gouache paintings. I've worked with colored pencils, with oil pastels and soft pastels, doing lovely pieces of artwork. But nothing turns my brain off and just sort of, you know, meditates me better than this. So I really wanted to start paying more attention to this sort of art and seeing where it takes me. So here I've done what I call sort of like some candy canes, and just put some little polka dots all over them, and again coloured in some background. And I actually had to change pens at this stage. I don't know if you can tell, but my little circles with the dots are slightly darker in colour because one of my pens ran out. And I knew that this was going to be a possibility because I was only working with two pens, my light blue pen, which is this one I'm using now, and for my darker background, I was using another pen, but I had no backups of those pens, and I just took the risk that they would last me the whole sheet of paper. And yeah, lo and behold, all that colouring in the background, yeah, my darker pen died on me. So I had to grab whatever I could get that was close enough. And on the camera, you can really see the difference, but in real life, I just want to say it's really not as noticeable that it's a slightly darker shade. And I think at the end of this, the pen I'm using now actually died as well. So it was lucky I was down the shops the next day where I like to buy my pens, and grabbed a whole heap more. So made sure I have two of everything. And that's a good tip if you're going to do a very large piece, is make sure you've got a backup pen, because if you don't want to, you know, have to change ink colors halfway through, sometimes it can be a bit of a disaster if you don't have a backup. So yeah, there I did my little rainbow, my little yeah, two-tone rainbows. And now just finishing off with some of those small leaves again, and I'll colour in the background to that. And that is my final corner. And even though I didn't show it on camera a lot of the time, I did actually turn my piece upside down sometimes to colour in this background. And when I was doing my little tiny circles up the top there, I would turn my sheet upside down so it was closer to me. Here I'm pulling off the tape, and I just wanted to show you guys that you need to pull off your tape extremely slowly. Because I started pulling mine off on the other side, and it did grab a little bit of the paper just a little bit. So I knew I was pulling it way too fast. So I just wanted to say that that's a tip for you, is pull it off slowly. Here is the finished piece that I'm so delighted with. I hope you've had fun, guys. And I hope if you did like this video, please subscribe. Bye. And thanks for watching.